Sparkle's Way. And yes, as I say in every one of my videos, Sparkle is my mother real name. Hey guys, hope everything is great. Sending you guys great vibes. So today we're gonna do something a little different. Alright? Usually I read an email and we talk about it. Well, I talk about it, yada yada yada. But this time I want to touch on a subject that is really true to my heart, and I think that it needs to be recognized and people need to talk more about it. So I'm going to stand up and speak. Well, not literally stand because I'm sitting. I'm really going to talk about some real shit today. Not saying that every time I talk isn't real shit. Don't get it twisted. But I'm literally talking about stuff that's personal to me. Just a little bit. No. Today I wanted to talk about foster care, foster homes, everything about it. I know it's such a big umbrella, so maybe I'll make another video about it. Not sure. But as many of my viewers and subscribers may know, well, actually, I'm not sure. I used to be a foster kid. I was taken away from my parents at 4 years old. Yes, I was a baby. Until I was 18. So when I'm talking about this shit, I know about this shit because I lived that shit. Okay? I lived it for my whole life. Now, there's this huge freaking, like, I don't know how to freaking put it in words, but there's this huge freaking stigma, whatever you want to call it, on foster kids that pisses me off. Like, you're a foster kid, you're messed up in your head. You're the bad one. You're the bad seed. Your mom and your dad didn't want you. Well, no. Most of the cases, not all the cases, but most of the cases, no. It had nothing to do with the kid. And even those cases that if the kid was bad, I bet you is because the parents didn't do a good enough job. Let's be honest. Because that shit pisses me off. I remember my whole life literally hating to say I was a foster kid. Literally. Like, had to hide it. And it was a part of me. It was it was who I was. I was a foster kid. I didn't, every time I wanted to do a sleepover or I wanted to do something, I had to ask my foster mom, who was amazing. I was so lucky to have the best foster mom ever. She was always there for me. She always supported me. And I did tap dancing my whole freaking life, okay? And she paid that shit out of her own pocket, okay? I was so blessed to have her. Biggest supported me in anything I wanted to do. That's where I get so much of my creative side is from her motivation and wanting me to pursue these things. So I was really lucky to have that. But I know that a lot of foster kids are not so lucky to have that. They get stuck in group homes and up north and all these places that are just not letting them see what a family environment is like, And please, let's not talk about all the workers that have over 40 cases. 40 freaking cases. Like, how are they even supposed to get to know each child and what's going on and keep track of everything that's going on in their lives? Not just in the foster home, but also in school and their activities. When they have 40 cases, that's insane, okay? And the fact that workers, literally, to be a worker, you have to do at least 3 to 4 years. We are so short-staffed of workers. Why so many years? Just cut to the chase. And just do, like, children behavior and stuff that they need to know. So we would have much more social workers. Like, it's insane, the mentality of how it's run, okay? And I'm not even talking out of my butt. This is what I've lived. I had over 13 workers. Yeah, 13. That's insane. From 4 to 18. That is way too many. And I had to like literally repeat all the time my story. You know how traumatizing that is? They have to constantly just relive your past all the time? Ugh. Like, nah. And it's not just me who went through that. Many kids have gone through that. And I so hate that kids have to feel like they have to hide that they're foster kids. Everyone else is so open about everything else. You know, in this world, like everyone's so much more open about their sexuality, so much more open about, I don't know, anything, you know, their spirituality. But why can't we be more open about being a foster kid? I know it's not something to be proud of and walk down the street and shit, but it shouldn't be something to hide. Because it's not the child's fault. It is not. Okay? People need to seriously get that through their head. It has nothing to do with them. And you know what? Yeah, foster kids might be a little bit more sensitive. You might have to, you know, reassure them here and there. You know, you might have to, like, make them feel more, like, reassure them. That's pretty much what comes to the top of my head. You know, they might be a little clingy or whatever. But who isn't? You know what I mean? Like, who isn't? So you gotta help them out a little bit more because, you know, abandonment issues or whatever. But hell, I've seen 2-parent homes and the kids still turned out, you know, up with abandonment issues, cleanliness. You know what I mean? So there's this horrible view on foster kids, which I despise. I honestly despise because I've lived it. I wish I was never ashamed of where I came from because I had no need to be. It wasn't my fault. At 4 years old, like, come on, you know? It was actually my parents' fault, but then I'm the one that has to suffer? No, that's not how it should work. And people need to be more aware of this. And I know it's a really touchy subject. It's a really touchy subject. But I believe that they should honestly work with the parents also. It shouldn't just be like, take away the kid and the parent gets to like, woo, free like daycare or whatever. No. They should really help the mothers, the fathers in this situation. You know, just as much as they're focusing on the kid, they need to focus on the parents too. That's the problem. You know, the parents get so mad, so upset, and like at the system. Okay, we understand, you know, but we're helping your child. Now take this time to help yourself and let the parents also have all the resources they need. Everything they can think of that they need, they'll get to help them succeed more because we don't. I really would love to be in the root of it. You know what I mean? Because I have so many ideas of how to change things. One of my biggest problems also is with the group homes. As soon as you turn 18, boom, you're out. That's it. You know, they have some programs for some foster kids that if you're really good or whatever, there's housings that they have for those kids. But if you're not, it's like you're 18, you're not my problem anymore. And I hate that. Reason being is because when they turn 18, they do not have, a lot of them, let's not say all of them, but a lot of them do not have that support of their family members. Hello, they got taken away. You really think that their mother, their father are really stable? No. To take care of them? So they're literally on their own. And in a lot of cases, they tend to go into these toxic relationships or into relationships too soon and not focus on their schooling and, you know, themselves and just try to build their own family. or just get into bad situations, which could so be prevented. Absolutely. Just from having more homes for them. Like a whole apartment building. You know, that's one of the biggest reasons why I started this YouTube channel. Was to take all the money, most of the money, let's be honest, most of the money and put it towards a whole apartment building to help these teenagers to get a helping hand in this society. You know, being in foster care, and it's not anyone's fault, but they tend to kind of protect you a lot because you've been exposed to so much. So they tend to try to shelter you a lot of what's going on. But once you get into the real world, it's a freaking shocker that not everyone is trustworthy. Not everybody has your back like your worker did, your foster parents did, or, you know, the people that you were surrounded with that really supported you and motivated you. You know, the world can be a really cruel place, and I had to learn that the hard way. You know, I really believed in a lot of people that I shouldn't have. Gave a lot of chances to people I shouldn't have. You know? And I'm not making excuses, but that has to do with being so protected. And a lot of times in group homes, we just get shoved out the door, but it's like, whoa, what do I do? What's going on? I mean, like, they try to help you to get a job and all this stuff, you know, but it's not support. There's no moral support there, you know? And that's why I feel like there should be much more homes for foster kids who actually want to have, like, you know, help. That actually want the help. And a lot of times they think that they don't, but they do. You know, for the longest time too, in group homes, I always felt like it was really cold. You know, there wasn't, like, the staffs were coming in and out, and there wasn't really that family environment. But I kind of got it at the same time because I was really lucky to have a foster mom and grow up in that environment, right? And we had a lot of girls in and out of the house, but it was still my sisters. I looked at them like they were my sisters, right? So a lot of times, one time when I went to a group home, I seen the difference. I seen the coldness that, like, you know, you can leave and you come back. There wasn't really like, oh, how was your day? How was, you know, it was very like staff and, you know, child. It wasn't that family environment. But from what my foster mom told me was that, you know, a lot of kids, when they're at that age and come into foster care, they already feel neglected from their parents. So they don't grow that bond with someone. But even if, I truly believe, if they try to make it more family oriented and shown them that this is what a mother and a father like looks like, and this is how a woman and a man treat each other, then they will go out in the world and do the same thing, right? They will learn how to act around a woman or a man or whatever. They will learn these things even if they're in a group home in a big, large setting, you know? And to go back on the apartments, I truly believe that each of these apartments, they wouldn't just be the apartments. Like, these kids would just literally pay a certain amount of rent, but they would get a lot of that back when they finally get stable and then find their own apartment, and then they go on to their own way, you know? And they'll have stability. They will not rely on nobody. They will have their own shit. So they will not feel like they had to go and find a man or a woman or whatever and just, you know, be in these, stuck in these situations that they really don't need to be in. I believe so, like, hardly. I believe that so, like, in my heart, that would make such a difference in our youth community. And, you know, the craziest thing ever is that in my life experience, in my career, is I deal with elderly, which I find have been neglected over the years, right? And then I've seen with youth also in foster care and other place stuff too, but I'm talking about foster care. And it's crazy how my life has literally taken me in between the two places that have been neglected for far too long. Honestly, we're not taking care enough. We're not taking care enough of our elderly. We're not taking care enough of our youth and these kids in care. I feel like there's so much things that we can change, you know. And the sad part is all these workers and foster moms have protested and spoke out and, like, you know, did all these things to get their voice heard, but it's like it just got shut up. You know what I mean? We got other things to deal with. No. These kids are our future. No matter what their upbringing was or where they came from. Give them a chance. Just as much as you would give that other kid a chance and every opportunity, give them a chance. Do you know how many kids don't get to go and go to places like amusement parks and water slides and all this stuff? Because maybe their foster parent is keeping the money for themselves or not using the money appropriate. But we don't have enough staff to keep track of this shit. There should be staff just on that, not just everything plop on the worker. Just like in healthcare. This is, I just solved everything. Just like in healthcare, how we have, okay, the nursing assistants, right? The orderlies, okay? Well, let's go in order. The house cleaners, right? The orderlies, the nursing assistants, the nurses, and the doctors, and then the surgeons. We have all of these, like this big group, right? To do this one big job in the hospital. Now, why don't we have that in the foster care system? Someone to go around, literally to see where the money's being spent. Where is it? Ooh, sorry. Let me drink some water. I'm talking a little too much. Where the money is being spent. What activities the kids are going on and doing. And how are they doing in school? That should be one person's job. All those things should be one, not the workers, that person. Okay? Literally walking around to each foster home and seeing how the situation is. And then reporting back to the worker. Now, if the worker is doing all the paperwork and stuff like that, she gets more time to focus on each case. She can have 40 cases, but she's not doing house calls. She's not driving around. The person, I don't know if anyone has a good name for them. Let me know in the comments. But we'll report back to the worker and let them know what's going on. And then if there's something bad that comes up, then the worker will go make a home visit. But this person maybe needs a few months, okay, of behavioral, like, you know, children behavioral thingy. I don't know what it's called. But just to generalize how to look for signs, what to look for in the house, what is right, what is wrong, you know? Write down everything that's going on. Now, they do not tax the foster parents because foster parents are honestly doing an amazing, some of them are doing a really great job. They're taking on someone else's kid. It's like co-parenting with the real parents, and that's not an easy job, okay? Because the real parents literally hate the foster parent, hate them, which I understand completely, but at the same time, no. And I feel like a big reason being is because they just feel unheard. They're just like, you took my kid and now what? You know what I mean? No. There should be literally a person just for the parent to find out the parent's wants, needs, and what they are going to do to change this, and not the workers, not for the worker. That same person is going around doing all those things. That person will talk to the parents too and write down all the stuff that is concerning to the parents and then bring it back to the social worker. It would save so much time and so much energy, and not let our workers be overwhelmed, so they will have more time to deal with each case and figure out the best plan for that child. Because at the end of the day, if you're just doing report, you're not really looking at what's the best future plan for that kid, because you're overwhelmed. And I'm not saying it's their fault. They're overloaded. They're overloaded with work. It's insane. Honestly. And again, I am not talking out of my butt, because I have lived it. I have seen it. You know? So, yeah, this is a really touchy subject for me, but one thing I really noticed that I've always wanted to do was really make a difference in the foster care community, because I've been there my whole life and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm really not. And it wasn't easy growing up in it, but I did have an amazing foster mom that I'm so grateful for. But I know a lot of kids aren't, and I've seen it. So I really feel like I'm probably gonna make another video about this, because this is really like, it hits home for me, you know? For the longest time, I wasn't able to say my truth that I was a foster kid, you know? My whole life, I couldn't say it because I was so ashamed of it. But not anymore. I'm a foster kid. Alright, guys? So, what do you guys think about this topic? Please, comment below, guys. Email me. Let me know what you think. You know, we're trying to communicate here. I love to hear ideas and what you guys think, because I'm going to take them and really try to make a difference in this world. Alright, guys? Thanks. Like, subscribe, and see you guys in my next video. Peace.